I know it's an exhibition game. They didn't look good in that exhibition game, and I know some of you guys are concerned. Are the Cubs going to have a problem scoring runs? I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is that Pete Crow-Armstrong is on the verge, I think, of becoming one of baseball's most exciting players. And some of you guys are saying, why not extend him now? That's a question you got to ask yourself. We're going to talk a little Pete Crow-Armstrong and get into the Cubs offense and lack thereof in that first exhibition game. Should we be concerned? Another exhibition game tonight. Then the Cubs and the Dodgers will match up in a game that counts. Yeah, and guess who hit a home run and looked amazing in Japan? Yep. Shohei Ohtani. But it's just one exhibition game. Don't get your panties in a wad, as they say. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Welcome to the Cubs baseball channel. Great to see all you guys today. And let's get the show started. Just like this. Hey, everybody, Mick Gillespie, Cubs baseball channel, and it is a pleasure to see you guys today as we talk about the Cubs. All right, let's get into it right off the bat. Is Pete Crow-Armstrong ready to star? Now, I know he's ready to star because he's got blonde hair dyed and then blue stars dyed in it. And last year he came to spring training and he had the all blue hair and it didn't work out. And this year he has been amazing at spring training. And some of you guys are saying, hey, why not extend him now like they did with Rizzo? Get a good deal, and then you got him locked down. And if he doesn't make it, then there's a risk there. But if he does, you're not there looking at having to pay him a contract that you don't want to pay or can't afford. And I don't know that that's not a bad strategy. Now, he's still just a 22-year-old. I watched him play. The intensity that he shows up with every day is really phenomenal. His defense is as good as anybody in Major League Baseball, and it's only going to get better. His range is awesome. His jumps are great. Like, defensively, he's fantastic. The question is, can he hit? And I think that he's eventually going to hit, and I'll tell you why. It's his wrists and his eyes. I think he's got good eyes, that he sees the ball well, and he makes contact. Now, the thing that I think we worry about, though, are the strikeouts. And he struck out 98 times last year and 372 at bats, right? And he hit 237, and he had a 286 on base percentage. He's got to bring all of those up. He needs to hit about 289, and he needs to have about a 384 on base percentage instead of a slugging percentage. I think he's going to surprise you with his power. He did hit 10 home runs last year and knock in 47. And I think that that's something that when you see the comfortable, I'm in the big leagues, I got this thing, Pete Crow-Armstrong, or as I like to call him, Hollywood Pete, you're going to be super impressed with what he is able to do, right? And I think that that's why Cubs fans, you watch him and you're like, if this guy is at his best, and he's batting 319 right now in spring training with 3 home runs and 11 batted in. Now, I know it's 10 games, and I know it's spring training, and and I know that there's still a lot of baseball to be played, but you're getting a snapshot into why the Mets have been so criticized for trading him. And people in the Mets organization really didn't want to see him get traded. It was one of those deals where people in the organization were going, are you kidding me? You're really going to trade Pete Crow-Armstrong? And they did it anyway. And we're seeing kind of the benefits of that. And of all the players that the Cubs got in the trades for all of the World Series champion players that they dealt away, he was the guy immediately that people were like, hey, this is a good deal. And it felt like when Theo Epstein was making trades to win the World Series, and then after that, giving away guys like Dylan Cease and Gleyber Torres and Eloy Jimenez and, down the list, the Cubs were giving away their best prospects, something that you don't see the Dodgers do a whole lot. You don't see Atlanta do that a whole lot, but he was willing to wheel and deal the best players that the Cubs had, and the Mets did that and kind of in return. So I don't know that we're going to see anything out of the Chris Bryant trade, and I don't know that we're going to see anything substantial out of the Anthony Rizzo trade. But we're seeing something substantial out of the Javi Baez trade. And what's crazy is that Pete Crow-Armstrong, the way that he plays the game resembles Javi Baez. Javi was one of his favorite players, and he brings that same intensity that Javi used to play with as a Cub to the table every day. And now you're wondering, at this point, what's the future going to look like for him? And I'll tell you that the concern that I have is that he's got to walk more. I just think he's just got to walk more. He had 21 walks last year and 410 plate appearances. Just get on base a little bit more. And if you do that, and if you're not afraid to take pitches and walk and get on base, he turns a walk into a triple the way that he can run. And that's the other part of his game that I think fans really like, and that's the stolen bases. 27 of those last year. He reads the ball as well as anyone I've ever seen when he's on base. He's going to figure out the speed of the game, and I think that's kind of happening now at the major league level. And when he's comfortable and he starts to kind of get into that groove, watch out. And I think that's happening. And that's where the Cubs have to figure out, are they willing to go ahead, take a risk on him, pay him the big money, or is it one of those things where you sit back and wait and you're not sure, and if he doesn't pan out, you're not stuck with a big contract. You know, as much as we like David Bodie, he didn't get a huge contract, but they paid him a lot more than they probably should have, and then they were stuck with him. And you know how that ended up. Like, he's a minor leaguer with the Dodgers, getting paid, major league money there for a while, and and so that's just kind of the way that it worked. But the Rizzo deal, I remember a time sitting in the press box at a Cubs game, and you're looking at Jason Hayward out in right field, and he's making more money than Anthony Rizzo, and Rizzo is one of the best players on the team and one of the best players in baseball, and you could have basically dumped Jason Hayward, and the team would have been any better or worse. And that's because of the contract that they both had. But it was also because Rizzo signed early. So bottom line is this. It's one of those things that a front office that is extended, right, and has a long-term contract would probably be more comfortable doing, or would even maybe be green-lighted. And the fact that this front office is on a one-year contract, we don't know if they're going to be back next year. And so I don't know that this is going to happen. But if they did extend him, it's a sign that ownership says, hey, we like him. We think it's a good deal. And, we're willing to take a chance on him. Now, the question that I have is, what happened to the Cubs and their bats in the exhibition game against the Tigers, the Hanshin Tigers, and a 20-year-old, I guess, the next phenom coming out of Japan, Keito Mombetsu, and he just 5 innings of perfect baseball. The Cubs looked like they had never seen a curveball before. You know that this is almost like a barnstorming kind of tour for them, playing teams in Japanese Major League Baseball, what they call it. But at the same time, I mean, it's still the same game, right? And the Tigers are one of the best teams that are over there. But to tell me that you can't generate any offense, I mean, that's one of the problems that I had with this team last year. They got shut out. It was like 15 or 16 times. I don't have it in front of me, but there were just too many shutouts. And to be able to have success, you got to put the ball in play. And the Cubs they're just too many weak contact outs. I know Seiya hit the ball hard, and it was good to see him get the reception that he got back in Japan. And I cannot wait to see Shota Imanaga and the reception he's going to get. But Shohei Ohtani hit a absolute bomb in the game the Dodgers played. They won that game. And I watched their lineup, and I'm going, man, this is a tough lineup. Cubs need, and I saw Nico Horner on track to be ready for Arizona to start the season, down in spring training, taking at bats, looking good. Cubs need him. They need they need to toughen this lineup as much as possible, because it looked like the regular starting lineup in this game. And I know it's exhibition and all that. I'm not even worried about giving up the 3 runs, and you had a reliever for every inning and all that. But the Cubs have to score runs. They just do. And that's one of the biggest problems that I had with this team last year, is that when they faced good pitching, they were flat. There weren't a lot of games where you were like, man, they just faced, Paul Skeens at his best and they're scoring runs, it'd be like, hey, they're facing Paul Skeens at his best and they can't even get on base. And so they were absolutely mesmerized by the 20-year-old from Japan. Hey, let's sign the guy. Let's let's put him in a Cubs uniform before the Dodgers get him, right? And as I said before, is this an issue that the Cubs have? Now, I don't know. Look, I'm not saying that that I feel like this is something to worry about because of one exhibition game. But when I look at the Cubs lineup in that game, I'm going, okay, not a lot of that scares me. Now, I do want to play a video here, and I got to give Maddie Lee from the she's a writer for the Cubs with the Sun-Times, I believe. She had this video that she put on Twitter. I'm going to play just a clip of it, and it's so funny because it illustrates why I love baseball in other countries, right? The enthusiasm that these guys play with and the fans cheer with. When you go to the Dominican and you see the way they play there, and in Japan in this, and I'm just going to play a clip of it. And you can go on her page and watch a bunch of them, but it's just hilarious. Like there's a guy with a whistle, he's blowing the whistle, and then they start a chant, and then she just put a bunch of videos up because I think that she was as mesmerized by the darn thing as I was, and I couldn't get enough of it. Like I just kept sitting there laughing and going, this is so cool. Like I'm such a big fan of these guys. They're all in yellow. And I'm going to play this for you, and you tell me what you guys think. So I think it's hilarious. Now, here you go. And they just go on and on. But it's so funny to me. Like, I love it. I could sit here and watch those guys chant all day. Every player, apparently, almost like, World Cup soccer, has their own cheer. And I'm like, hey, I want to go over there, drink the sake, give me the whistle. I'm going to blow the whistle. I'm going to be the guy in charge of. What about the guy that creates the cheer? I've been to games where we create cheers, and they're normally making fun of the outfielder on the other team. And they're not, something that we would play on the Cubs baseball channel. It wouldn't be something that we would probably be proud of on here, right? I mean, maybe we'd be proud of it, but it wouldn't be something that would be, it would be acceptable on our channel. Anyway, look, bottom line is Cubs have 2 games against the Dodgers next week. And the Japanese experience has been fantastic. Shota a couple of days ago gets up and he addresses the team, and he's funny. And then Seiya's there, and then they're kind of showing the Cubs like the Japanese culture and enjoying what's going on in Japan and all that stuff. And I love it, man. I love it. That's the international flair. And then to see like the Cubs get beaten by, even in an exhibition game, by like a Japanese baseball team. It's almost like, man, like the Japanese baseball has just gotten so much better over the last, I want to say 10 or 15 years, to the point where you can't, and I know it was their home game and everything, but you can't, they're good. Like the players come over and they're amongst the best players. Cubs, 2 of their best players. Dodgers, 3 of their best players are Japanese, and I think before it was like, you had a couple guys that were able to kind of make that transition and be successful. Obviously Ichiro, but now like we used to call it like, I don't know, it was like a AAA type league. Now it's like, hey man, it's better than AAA. It's really good baseball. So take your hats off to those guys. And again, I love it. All right, look, that's it for today. Cubs are back in action. We'll be back tomorrow, getting ready for it's Cubs week. That's cool. Wednesday, we got a real game. I'm getting up bright and early to watch the Cubs, and then I'm going to Vegas, baby. So you guys like, subscribe, get in the comments section. I'm going to ask you this one more time. There it is. Cubs Baseball Channel logo. One of you guys said you want tattoos with the Cubs Baseball Channel logo. I'm asking you, do you want swag? Do you want hats? Do you want shirts? Do you want, do you want koozies? Like I got a koozie right here. What is it that you guys want? Tell me what you guys want with the logo on it. And happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I've got my Muppets, my Kermit the Frog shirt on for St. Patty's Day for you guys, because I know you guys like the Green River, and I like the Green River, and I like a good green beer, and I know you do as well. And if you don't drink, hey, there's a lot of other stuff you can have. Bangers and mash, you can do that. It's a bun. I don't know anything Irish. I'm Irish. I don't even know what we eat. I'm American Irish. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Tell me your favorite Irish tradition on St. Patty's Day. I don't care if you're Irish or not. If you got Irish roots, just tell me what yours is. I guess you guys know what mine is. Probably drinking beer. All right. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you. Go Cubs.